Hey, everybody, and welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of Pennies is here as well. Say hello, Satsu.
Hello, Satsu.
And I am your Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey. How is everyone tonight? Satsu, how you doing?
After yesterday, pretty damn good.
And Scribbles, how you doing?
I have a headache.
Aw.
So no sex for monkey tonight.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. Still in a lot of pain. I finally got to sleep at about 4 o'clock this morning, and I slept until 2. For those of you who missed it, I was up for way too long, and now I need a nap. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, he said he was gonna go to sleep last night.
I didn't. I played a little more of Out of the Park Baseball 19 because I fucking love this game, and I probably shouldn't have. I should have listened to you and Scribe and taken my ass to bed.
Did you redeem yourself at least?
How so?
Because you said your team was garbage.
Oh yes, no. As I told Scribe right before you got here, I got fired from my team and Out of the Park Baseball mid-season when my team was 29-90. Yeah, it did not work out well for me. But I did get to see Little Butt today, and she was so cute. I asked her, I said, "What do you want to do?" She says, "I want to play outside." I said, "It's raining." She says, "I don't hear rain." I said, "Okay, it might have stopped raining, but it's still wet outside." She goes, "We just need to put on shoes." Like, no. And so we ended up playing baby dolls, and I read her a Peppa Pig book instead. It was cute. Do we have anything else to discuss before we get into the news? And I haven't forgotten the saying. I'm just asking if there's anything else first.
No.
I didn't say anything.
I know, but I want to be sure because for once I fucking remembered and I want credits.
I just am glad that I've given you a complex.
Yes, you have.
Yay.
Guys, we'll get into the subject of the thing probably after the news. It'll be at fucketry time because Jesus Christ, there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers on Twitter right now. But Scribbles, movies, no. Monkey Dick. God damn it. I remembered to do it, and then I fucked it up. Let's try that again.
Oh, boy.
Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Hit that like button, guys. Seriously, hit the like button. It helps us out so much. And share. If there is somebody you know who's not watching the show right now, send them the link. Tell them there is a pissed off monkey about to go on a fucking rant tonight. So get him here. Share videos as well. Share everything because sharing is caring.
Okay, Scribe. Congratulations on your promotion. First off, you are now the new Monkey Dick, which should be very good for you.
No, I was about to say, I'm just glad to have totally psyched Monkey out without having done anything.
Yeah, you fucked him without fucking him. That was funny.
Yeah, I know. And I have a headache, which is like, oh my God. Anyway.
Fuck both of y'all. How's that?
Okay. Well, hey, three ways the best way to go, I suppose.
That's right.
Okay.
So news. Do we have some?
News. I watched way too many movie trailers and TV trailers today and the last 2 days, and we'll talk about them later. But yeah, otherwise, some shit's going down like right now. I'm refreshing the page because it's like an ongoing situation. Armed man inside Los Angeles Trader Joe's with people inside. There's a hostage situation going on right now. I've just refreshed the page at CNN, so this is the latest that CNN has at present. An armed man barricaded himself inside a Trader Joe's grocery store in Los Angeles on Saturday afternoon, prompting a massive police response with people still inside the store. Here are the latest developments. An unknown number of people are still inside the store in the Silver Lake neighborhood hours after the gunman ran inside. The suspect was pursued by police after a shooting and ran into a Trader Joe's when he crashed his car. 18 ambulances and more than 100 firefighters are at the scene of the incident, Los Angeles Fire Department spokesman David Ortiz said. Events began with a shooting in the 1600 block of 32nd Street around 1:30 p.m., 4:30 p.m. Eastern, in which an elderly woman and a young woman were victims, LAPD officer Mike Lopez told CNN. The suspect fled in a 2015 Toyota Camry, and during a police pursuit, the suspect fired multiple rounds at officers. None of the officers were injured. The chase ended when the suspect crashed the vehicle, got out, and ran into the store on Hyperion Avenue in the Silver Lake neighborhood. Customers immediately ran out of the store and police surrounded the building. Over the course of the standoff, several people walked out of the store with their hands up. Quote, we can confirm that there is an active barricaded suspect within a Trader Joe's in Silver Lake. An active Attck alert has been declared to ensure all resources necessary will be available. Please continue to stay clear of the area, Los Angeles police tweeted. Los Angeles Fire Department spokeswoman Margaret Stewart said a 20-year-old female patient was transferred to a hospital in fair condition. She was removed from a vehicle, not the inside of the store. Quote, we are on standby and prepared to support, but no confirmation how many patients may be inside, Stewart said. A manager at Gelson's Market across the street from Trader Joe's said people inside the market heard shots fired outside. Many people yelled and dropped to the floor. The manager did not wish to give her name. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this is like happening as we speak. I'll keep refreshing the page as the hour goes on in case something changes. But yeah, that's happening right now.
Damn.
Holy crap.
So we will see what we see. Let me make sure they're not going to play video in my ear. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. So there was a big accident with some duck boats. You know what a duck boat is?
No.
It's one of those amphibious car tour things. You can like drive off a road and into a waterway and then take people around.
Oh,
the kind of deal.
Yeah.
There was a big accident and a lot of people died. This was in Branson, Missouri. And this story deals specifically with one person who got probably the worst of it of all individual people. Tia Coleman's thoughts as she struggled to swim to the surface of the lake were focused on her family. She and 10 of her relatives were on a family vacation from Indiana, taking a tour Thursday of Table Rock Lake near the Missouri tourist hotspot of Branson. A treacherous squall sank the boat, sending Coleman down into cold, deep water. She knew she had to get up to safety and help her children. Quote, I said, Lord, please, I've got to get to my babies. I've got to get to my babies, she said Saturday at a news conference. The incident took 17 lives, including her husband, her 3 children, and 5 other members of her family.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Sorry, guys, that... Her children have always loved to swim, Coleman said. They had taken several vacations to other lakes and to beaches. Quote, in our family, my oldest son is autistic, so a lot of things normal families do, we don't always do, she said. They went on the duck boat because her eldest could be himself on the boat, she said. Passengers were told there was a storm coming before they went out on the water, Coleman said. The captain mentioned life jackets before they went onto the lake, she added, but he said, quote, you won't need them, so we didn't grab them.
Oh.
Coleman said she thinks if she had been able to get a life jacket to her children, she had a son sitting next to her, she could have saved them. Quote, I felt like if I was able to get a life jacket, I could have saved my babies because they could have at least floated up to the top and somebody could have grabbed them, and I wasn't able to do that. Coleman told reporters that I'm sorry, that was completely me misreading. I wasn't trying to be funny there. Coleman told reporters that she hit her head as she tried to exit the boat, possibly butting up against the canopy. Quote, the harder I was kicking to the top, I was pulled down, she said. As she lost hope of surviving, Coleman just let go and started floating. She felt warmer water closer to the surface and reached out her hand. When her head emerged from the lake, she looked around and saw a big riverboat docked nearby, but she didn't see anyone from her family. All of them but a nephew had perished.
God damn.
Coleman felt hands reaching down for her, and then she realized she was being pulled out of the water. When asked whether she is happy she made it out alive, Coleman said she doesn't know yet and only time will tell, but she thinks there is a reason she survived. Quote, God must have something for me because there's no way I should be here. I'll withhold comment because that lady just, holy fuck.
Yeah, I know what you're probably going to.
I'm far too cynical. Lady. I'm far too cynical not to have a thought about that. But either way, it doesn't matter.
That is horrible.
Yeah, 17 people died in this thing, and from what I heard on the radio, this is not the only incident with these duck boats in the last several years that has taken a lot of lives. When they have gone wrong. I don't think it's necessarily an epidemic or something, but if you go out on the water, no matter what anyone tells you, put on a life jacket.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's basic. It's reflexive. Anyone who tells you otherwise, don't go. If they're driving the boat and they tell you they don't need it, don't go on a boat with that person. Don't know what to do. Okay. Let me that guys. Honestly, with the weight of everything else, the hostage thing and that's all the stories I pulled up because that's the only thing that jumped out at me as really, interesting. I guess the only other thing that was sort of in the news today is that the CEO of Fiat Chrysler resigned after surgery. If we care about that, he had complications in a surgery. Let's see here. I don't think they say exactly what it was that he was being treated for. But anyway, the only thing I thought of as I read that was my first reaction when I said Fiat Chrysler CEO steps down, I thought, uh-oh, who did he abuse or what word did he say wrong? And it's like, no, it's for health problems. Like, okay, well, that's...
It's sad that that's our first thought these days. Is
it was.
Whose ass did he pinch?
Yeah, every time I see CEO of X steps down, it's they said something wrong, they had an affair, or there's unspecified allegations of misconduct.
Well, I didn't think the story was done. I thought you was going to say after surgery when they found out that he had the word nigger written on his heart.
How did you get a tattoo there?
Oh,
sorry.
No, you're fine. Remember, guys, Satsu's black, so he can say that.
But yeah, that's all the news stories I had. I'll keep refreshing the page on the Trader Joe's thing in case something happens. But so if you guys know of anything else going on in the news, by all means.
I didn't really see anything noteworthy today. A lot of people have been distracted by all the announcements, which is actually a good thing because.
Well, it's kind of news. We can talk about trailers and movies and such if we want, I guess.
Well, we can. I only watched one of them. I watched the Godzilla one. Special effects wise, it looks awesome. And it sticks to the story of basically, Godzilla created by. Correct me if I'm wrong. The original Godzilla was created because of man's pollution stuff, basically nuclears.
Yeah, the notion was, well, I think depending on the telling, it was either a nuclear bomb woke him up from a slumber, which was always the thing. Like the Godzilla was always there, and then a nuclear bomb test went off, and it woke him up and or energized him, depending. The Godzilla 1997 version or whatever, or 98 version, I think the theory was that the nuclear bombs like mutated something that already existed into becoming Godzilla. Either way. Yeah, I watched the trailer. My first thought was, well, this entire movie is fan service because all the fans want to see is just monsters fight each other.
But from the look of it, that's going to be not until the end of the very end.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be the money shot. But like I was telling money. Now I did it. Like I was telling Monkey before the stream started. What I was hoping for secretly is as the trailer built up to the reveals, or at least the shadowy reveals of some of the monsters. I was hoping that all the actors are going to be looking up at something in horror, and then the camera would cut to a man in a rubber suit. I was hoping that all the monsters would just be guys in rubber suits stomping around on miniature versions of cities and tanks and stuff. And it would look really good, but it would still be guys in rubber suits because I just thought it's just cartoon characters. The CGI doesn't impress anymore. The actual artistry, the craftsmanship of making a suit that looks good in forced perspective would be way more impressive to me than that. So if only Toho was actually making this movie and not Hollywood, it might be a better thing.
Then it'd be Power Rangers, Scribe.
I don't care. That's what Godzilla's supposed to be. Godzilla's supposed to be a guy in a rubber suit. I don't know what to tell you. The CGI might look great and the design looks awesome and all that fun stuff. It's supposed to be a guy in a rubber suit. That's what made it. That's what makes those movies still fun to watch. They're campy. They take themselves seriously against a guy in a rubber suit. That was the contrast that made it fun. Now it's just like, oh, we're staring up at a ping pong ball in a studio somewhere and they're going to put it in post. It's like, okay.
Well, I did think, because there's one shot where you see Godzilla step up on something, and that did look like a dude in a rubber suit.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there. Watch it again, and just for that part, and yeah, you'll see it. the other movies that came out, you'll have to talk about because I didn't watch any of them. I know Aquaman.
Yes, I just watched the Aquaman trailer.
How was that?
Well, it definitely looks more, let's say, fun / bright than the other DC movies. So they definitely turned up the tint on that, so it didn't look completely Nolanized.
I think this is a perfect opportunity for some consumerism. Whoever is doing all of the eyeliner and mascara on Aquaman, this is underwater stuff. They should be using that for. They should promote that. Look, this won't come off in water, y'all, because there's a really gay superhero wearing it underwater.
No, but there's his love interest is a super hot redhead, although the red is completely artificial. I wish they'd just try to make her at least look like a natural redhead. That would have been better. But yeah, no, it's another giant CGI superfest, of course, with a war in Atlantis for the kingship and everything, and that fish everywhere and big battles and giant futuristic cities underwater that look like something out of episode 1 with going to Jar Jar's city or whatever. Aquaman as a character never really, even when I was a little kid, I never thought of Aquaman as that interesting of a character. They never really did anything with him. And just because Jason Momoa is playing him now and he's got tattoos and looks like Lobo. I mean, Jason Momoa really should be playing Lobo, not Aquaman.
Hey, that eyeliner's lit.
No, you can't say that.
I can. Satsu brought it back last night, so I'm using it.
Wait, Satsu's bringing it back?
The only thing I remember from last night is you saying lit.
Oh, yeah.
I did remember that at some point. Judgment Night?
I do. And luckily I ordered it last night.
Yeah, when you still had a brain.
That's what made me remember it. I looked on Amazon today. Oh, bitch. Sorry, guys. I took my pills a little bit early today, and that tiredness that I get is kicking in right now. I do apologize for yawning. Yeah, I don't remember much of yesterday. Sorry, guys.
American Kelp brings up a good point. Aquaman feels like Black Panther. If you watch the trailer, it actually is essentially the same core plot line as they're presenting in the trailer as Black Panther, except that in this instance, Aquaman would be the Killmonger character, except he's the good guy. Like the bad guy is already a native Atlantean and already basically ready to be king, but everybody knows he's going to be a shitty king, so they go off and get the Drylander version Aquaman guy to come back and claim his throne and his birthright and all this other stuff. And yeah, it's
the Return of the King.
Return of the King. It's a very old story, but yeah, it's all just CGI. Just CGI everywhere. Oh, anyway, and then I saw Shazam. Now that actually looks like it might be a fun movie. It's definitely going to be the lightest. Well, it definitely looks like it's going to be the lightest DC movie ever because there's nothing but just jokes and lightheartedness in the entire trailer. There's no Nolanization or anything of it. You get introduced to Billy Batson, the orphaned little teenager kid running around and being beaten up by bullies and that kind of thing. And then suddenly he's transported to this mysterious cave where an old wizard, played by Dimon Honshu, if I'm saying his name right, says, "Say my name and you'll get power." And he says, "What's your name?" "Shazam." And he's like, seriously? It's a little kid. And then Zachary Levi, of course, plays the Shazam version of the kid. And so he has to play a teenager when he's a grown man, which has all sorts of like fish out of water. Look, I'm a big buff guy. How do I use my superpowers kind of thing? It kind of reminded me of like Greatest American Hero because he has to learn how to use his powers and he's a complete klutz because he's a kid.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, so it looks goofy. It also looks harmless, so it might be like the most fun DC movie ever.
That's not hard to do.
No,
most DC movies you leave and you want to just shoot yourself.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't know, man. Like, I think I saw Shazam once. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with Shazam, so.
I loved Shazam when I was a kid, but I don't remember it at all. I don't.
Yeah, it's one of those characters who he was just kind of there. I mean, a lot of DC characters are more an image than they are content. You know, like Superman is a symbol. There's not really a character there so much. They've had to sort of retrofit a character into him over the years. Batman always had an arc. Batman always had a little bit of complexity to him from the beginning.
Because of his dead parents.
Yeah, that's why some of these characters resonate longer and more intensely with people than others, is because, you know, Spider-Man, the setup for Spider-Man in his very first issue was complex as fuck, and it's never really changed at its core. You know, it was all about him and real life troubles and dealing with guilt and the power and responsibility and everything. All this stuff was set up in like the first like story of his. And that really sets the character. It's not about being a superhero per se. It's about being a better person than the one you were, kind of deal. Shazam, a little kid gets superpowers and becomes big like Tom Hanks, and then can like punch people and fly. That's basically it. You know, and I know there's more lore to him now than there was before, but that was kind of like, it was all concept. It wasn't character. What else? I saw the preview for the next season of Arrow, where he's in prison. And he finally grows his beard out because everybody's waiting for him to get the goatee like the Green Arrow should have. Looks like more CW fun. And what else? I know there's other things that I saw, but that was like Venom. Right.
Oh, is there a new Venom one out?
Well, they put out some more information about who the villain is. Because so Venom,
the villain.
So Venom is at best an anti-hero. He's kind of Punisher-esque. At least he becomes that as his character develops in the comic books. I've actually got the first several issues of Venom's first solo series, Lethal Protector, and he actually does team up with the Punisher at one point, which is an interesting story. But either way, so how do you come up with a villain for something that is essentially evil to begin with, after a fashion? Right. You pull a character that no one has ever heard of before that does come from the comic books, and it's not Carnage. It's another symbiote person.
Who'd they pick?
Riot. Now, if you don't know who Riot is, you're not alone, because Riot is... So here's how this works. There was a story arc back in the bad old days of Spider-Man called Planet of the Symbiotes. Actually, I take it back. This was from Lethal Protector. Sorry, let's back up a little because it happens later. Anyway, Lethal Protector, part of the deal about Venom in Lethal Protector was this group called the Life Foundation. They got a sample of Venom from one of the battles he had with Spider-Man or something, and then they used that to essentially breed a whole bunch of symbiotes that they then attached to a bunch of people, and then they became sort of like mini Venoms that they then sent out to do bad things, and then Spider-Man and Venom had to stop these other symbiotes. One of those symbiotes, who was unnamed for years, but just was like symbiote number 7, they then gave him a name, Riot, for some reason, and now he's the villain in the Venom movie because everybody remembers Riot. They don't want to see Cletus Cassidy or something. I don't want to see Cletus Cassidy. I don't want them to go straight from Venom to Carnage in like one step because that doesn't make any fucking sense. It makes about as much sense as going to Venom without Spider-Man. So
yeah, well, anyway. It's Sony, and from what we've seen of the Venom suit, that looks horrible, fucking horrible.
It looks better. I'll say it looks better as a Venom suit than the one in Spider-Man 3.
Well, the one in Spider-Man 3, it didn't look like a Venom suit is the problem there.
At least it looks alien-ish.
Yeah.
I mean...
the other one just looked like Spider-Man suit with a weird mouth.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I say, Marvel should be doing all this stuff themselves.
Yes.
And not hell. DC should be handing all their stuff off to Marvel too.
They should.
It's like, guys, we can't hack it. Can you do Superman? Because you could probably do Superman 20 times better than we could.
And with that, guys, we don't really have news tonight. So
I'm keeping an eye on the hostage thing. No amazing updates have happened in the last several minutes, but I'll keep an eye on it.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, if there is a story you'd like us to read, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to every story, but we do appreciate every submission. Scribe.
Supergirl to feature TV's first ever transgender superhero.
Oh, fuck.
Just so you know, that just came up on my feed because it does, and it did. So there you go.
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a trap.
Yeah. What is the superpower going to be attached to their transgender status?
No, is it a transgender man or a transgender woman? If it's a transgender man, it'll be even funnier.
I believe it. I believe, given that it's Supergirl, it's probably going to be a transgender female. That's my guess.
Boo.
But
Captain Tuckett.
Oh.
Well played. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Let's see. What do we have here?
And we have time to do lots of them, so I hope we have good stories.
Let's find something interesting. How about... Okay, this might be interesting for people. This one comes from Jack the Motherfucking Cockring. How about some science news?
I love science. Well, what kind of science?
Genetic researchers want me to pay to read this article. I can't read the article because the Washington Times won't let me unless they let me see it again. No, yes, no. Okay, well, anyway, I'll read the headline at least. Genetic researchers have reversed wrinkles and gray hair in mice.
Oh, I saw that headline. Yeah, that is awesome. Oh, you know what? I wonder if
maybe you can read there. Maybe you can read it because I apparently can't anymore.
Because Drudge sent that out today, and I relinked it. Let me see. I didn't actually click on the thing. I just there. Let's see. Hopefully, this will let me read it. Yeah, this is from the Times. Cool. Science has made mice look good by... Why did you just jump? I was reading that. Yes, son of a bitch. Science have made mice look good by reversing age-related wrinkles and hair loss at the genetic level. Humanity could get a similar makeover in the future. Wrinkled skin and hair loss are hallmarks of aging, but what if they could be reversed? Asked researchers at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, who appear to have accomplished that feat according to the research team. They introduced a specific gene mutation on a test mouse, which prompted a change in profound appearance. Within 4 weeks, the mouse had developed wrinkled skin and extensive visible hair loss. When regular function was restored within the gene by turning off the culprit mutation, the mouse returned to a previous life of smooth skin and luxurious fur only 2 months later, deemed indistinguishable from a healthy mouse of the same age. Quote, to our knowledge, this observation is unprecedented. So they made it look older and then just reversed that.
Yeah, they found the mechanism where they can control it, apparently.
Oh.
But that's not the same. That's not the same. They turned off the mutation they turned on.
Well, yeah, but if they know how if they know how it works to turn it on, then they can find a way to compare it in humans and turn it off.
Maybe. We'll see. Because they turned off the mutation. They didn't fix the gene or reverse the gene.
Is Monkey roboting? Is it just me?
Is it me?
He was just a little bit, but
okay.
Thank you, Terry Diamandis. So if you have stocks in a mouse toupee company, now is the time to sell. Well played, Terry. Well played. Yeah. Throughout the study, the test mice were fed an antibiotic, which prompted the change within the gene. All showed gray hair, thinning hair, and hair loss, plus slowed movements and lethargy. Changes one study found that are reminiscent of natural aging. Females are even more severe skin wrinkles and had even more severe wrinkles than men. So maybe.
Interesting.
Aniki, don't worry about it. She says I don't have anything to donate. Sorry. No. We appreciate every donation. We absolutely do, but they are not required. I have a whole bunch of fundraisers. If you want to donate, guys, please donate. And there's a story behind why I'm saying please donate. We can talk about that later, not tonight.
Okay.
But hit all my fundraisers.
Let's see. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. And this is from the Mirror in the UK, so that's why the language goes as it goes. Mums are now using their placenta to plant trees. And there's actually a very sweet reason why.
Because they're fucking weird.
A new life is a wonderful thing. It's a call for celebration, but how people choose to celebrate this can vary drastically. There's always been a tradition some mothers have chosen to follow after giving birth, whereby they eat the placenta. Or if they don't eat it, they might do something else with it. Some have turned it into teddy bears. Some have made Christmas decorations.
Wait.
But now there's a new trend emerging. I know. Mums are now using their afterbirth to plant trees.
Who
But
the
how-
fuck makes a teddy bear out of afterbirth?
People.
All right.
But how do they do this? With an invention called a BIOS capsule. The capsule is a biodegradable conical device in which you put soil and a seed to grow. I think I've seen these things elsewhere. It is separated into 2 sections with room at the bottom to add something special to the mix. Originally designed to hold the ashes of loved ones, that's what it was. A company called Happy Birth Tree, is now encouraging new parents to add the placenta after giving birth. Once the placenta, soil, and seed are in the urn, you simply plant it and water it just as you would any other plant. So, like buying seeds and watering them.
Yes.
Why do you need to buy this conical thing for it?
And then emerges a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, I guess
So
the whole
you can say there's placenta in your tree.
Yeah, I guess the deal is that the thing, effectively forces whatever you've put in there to be part of the tree's growth, and then it's solid in it or something. It's all very symbolic. The idea for the placenta tree was devised by Bryce Roberts following the death of his beloved dog.
Oh dear God!
I don't know how you get to there, and the story does not continue. There it does. He came across BIOS urn and wondered if the concept could be adapted. Thus, his own company, Happy Birth Tree, was started. So basically, you just buy something that's already made by somebody else and just say, instead of ashes, put in your placenta.
Yes.
That's not a new company. That's just sort of a resale. You're just a reseller. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, that's.
Que sera.
But why? Why?
I don't know. It's like
It's waste.
Circle of Life, something. I don't know.
It is fucking waste.
Let's see. Wow, do we have just not many stories today? Okay, this one comes from Scrappy. If it'll come up. Well, while it's deciding to do that, let me see if anything happened over on the...
Oh my God, what is going on in this chat?
Okay, it is. This is from a site called downtrend.com. I never heard of it before. It's now racist for a company to advertise its legal workforce.
What?
Okay. It's been one hell of a day for racism. We've learned that having too many white robots is deeply racist. I hadn't heard that one. But black people burning an American flag while chanting Black Power is not. Now comes word that a company in Texas is super ass racist. Because can you tell this is a blog, by the way?
Super ass racist.
Super hyphen ass racist. Ass racist.
Ass racist.
Your ass is too white. Because they only hire people who are in this country legally and can work here legally. Oh, okay. Making this company even more racist, they advertise their legal workforce. I see. Take some time to recover from this shocking racism and read on for the horrifying details. Pro-illegal immigration website Mehente, never heard of it, has launched a campaign against landscaping company Mowmasters in Carrollton, Texas. The company put out flyers advertising their services in which they tout the legality of its workers. Quote, high business standards, follow tax laws, best credentials, ethics, ratings, and reviews. Employees are crime and drug-free. We are insured. Taking back Carrollton one law at a time. American-owned, your alternative to illegal lawn services. Wow. Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's brutal. Okay, that was the end of the ad. There's nothing remotely racist in this ad. The company is American-owned, and they only hire people who are allowed to work in the country. Mahente sees it differently and wants people to, quote, rate this racist lawn mowing company, unquote. They also pulled a Ross from Friends by asking, quote, can this company be any more racist, unquote. I don't know that reference. Do you know that, Monkey? You know Friends better than I do.
It's actually not Ross. That would be Chandler, because he would say things like, "Can it be any more racist?" Yeah, that is Chandler, not Ross. Dummy.
Whoops, dummies. What they want people to do is leave negative Yelp reviews, because this is one of the many stupid ways leftists attack decent, honest people. Quote, Mowmasters, a lawn mowing service in Carrollton, Texas, has released their new business cards, which states your alternative to illegal lawn services. As part of their racist marketing, Mowmasters pledges, quote, take back Carrollton one lawn at a time. Under this administration, Jesus Christ. Under this administration, we know actions and rhetoric like these have a real and dangerous effect in our communities. When Trump tweets, hate crimes go up. Really? I hadn't heard that one. Okay, which is why Mowmaster's nativist business card and practices cannot be ignored.
Nativist, huh?
Nativist business.
Nativists.
You mean legal?
Okay, this is them not being able to tell the difference between legal and native. Those are two different things.
That's
racist. That's
crazy.
Not to mention, Mexican's not a race, y'all.
Okay, we've got an update on the hostage situation. The suspect, who is in his late teens, shot his grandmother and a younger female earlier in the day. Okay. He ran into the Trader Joe's after crashing his grandmother's car outside the store, and there's still an unknown number of people in there. Police are communicating with the suspect, quote, trying to bring this to a peaceful conclusion. And then everything else is... the suspect, described by police and witnesses as an African-American male, fled in a 2015 Toyota Camry. Okay, so little details about the whys and wherefores are coming out. I'll keep looking at it as the time goes on. Moving on. Let's see. This one comes from Captain Brambles. Slow speed pursuit of a tractor leads to a crash and arrest, and 2 cops are injured. It's a big green John Deere tractor, looks like. 2 Denver police officers were injured during a slow-speed pursuit of a stolen John Deere tractor Friday night after more than a dozen squad cars gave chase through the city streets. And this is a tractor. This isn't like somebody's lawnmower. This is like a actual, farm piece of equipment.
Real quick, I have a super chat. Thank you, Cryptic. Racism is going up to a big eye Korean and asking if they had eyelid surgery. By the way, it's the #1 surgery in Korea. Thank you, Cryptic.
Video on social media showed the tractor, which was hauling farm equipment. So not only is it a tractor, but it was also it was pulling a load as well.
Well, why were they stopped? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Which was hauling farm equipment, drive onto a sidewalk and swerve back into the street with police in tow. The pursuit ended after a police cruiser rammed the tractor head on, deploying the cruiser's airbags. A driving officer jumped out of the car and subdued the suspect with a stun gun. Quote, as soon as that collision happened, the officer that was in the driver's side was out that door and was out with his taser like instantly, witness Marcos Willman told the station. I feel like it was just adrenaline, just like up and we're getting this guy. The pursuit began in the City Park area where the Denver Zoo is located and developed into a slow 30-minute chase, eventually ending in the city's lower downtown neighborhood near the Coors Field baseball stadium. Authorities said the tractor hit multiple vehicles and some buildings were damaged. Police decided to stop the tractor by striking it head-on to end the chase before any pedestrians got hurt. The male suspect suffered multiple dog bites while resisting arrest and was taken to a hospital where he's expected to recover. The suspect was not identified and no charges were filed as of Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's not nearly as exciting as that time that guy stole that tank, drove through California, knocking everything over and crushing cars and shit. That was amazing. Let's see. This one comes
from... Dog bites are racist, says Bear. Hi, Bear.
Dude, if you read up, there's a whole list of things that are apparent.
Oh, baseball is racist.
Waxing off is racist. Witnesses are racist.
Airbags are racist. Farming is racist. Tractors are racist.
Saying things are racist is racist.
Peaceful conclusions are racist. Thanks, Irate Bear.
peaceful conclusions.
Fuck those peaceful conclusions. This one comes from Lords of the Night professional lurker, Mr. Melton.
Hi.
So we have a dedicated
Hey,
stock.
professional lurker.
Or Shattered Cat 75, depending on how you're looking at it. If it'll come up. There we go. Giant pyramid tourist attraction burns in northern Illinois.
Oh.
I didn't know there was a giant pyramid in Illinois. Authorities say fire severely damaged a giant pyramid home that doubles as a tourist attraction in northern Illinois. Gurnee Fire Department firefighters responded to a report that an elderly man in a wheelchair and his dog were trapped by the fire at the Gold Pyramid House in Wadsworth. Fire officials say no people were hurt, but the dog died.
Oh, poor pooch.
The Lake County Sheriff's Office says the fire wasn't suspicious. The Gold Pyramid House was built in 1977 as a private residence, but has since opened for public tours. A 55-foot tall or 17-meter tall statue of Ramses II stands guard outside. The 17,000 square foot, 6-story structure about 45 miles north of Chicago is surrounded by a moat and contains a replica of King Tut's tomb. Not anymore, it don't, but yeah.
You know, if they built it out of stone, as the pyramids were, they'd be fine.
Yeah. You know, they just sort of weathered away.
You ever tried to light a rock on fire?
I heard a story from a firefighter friend of mine one time about a fire they went to where the heat was so intense, the concrete had become spongy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's something.
But it can't melt steel.
Not steel beams, no.
Well,
jet fuel can't.
Well, and fire.
Well, no, fire is different than jet fuel. Jet fuel is.
Irate Bear says having a moat is transphobic.
Having a moat is transphobic. Why? Because transgender people can't swim, or what?
Reasons.
Yeah.
Reasons.
I win.
Message. Let's see. Here we go. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Millennials outraged after baseball team advertises Millennial Night with avocados, participation ribbons, and napping stations.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Dude.
Who did that? I will buy a ticket and not even go to the game. Who was it?
Dude.
Montgomery, Alabama. If I say lover of naps, selfies, and participation ribbons, you would say millennials? According to one Alabama minor league baseball team, those are the pillars of life for people born between the 1980s and early 2000s, along with avocados, craft beer, and safe spaces. In an effort to bring younger fans to the ballpark, the Montgomery Biscuits are hosting Millennial Night this weekend, but their advertising on social media set off an eruption of mixed feedback from the very group they're trying to attract. The Tampa Bay Rays AA affiliate, currently with a record of 15-11, tweeted last week, quote, "Want free things without doing much work? Well, you're in luck. Riverwalk Stadium will be millennial friendly on Saturday, July 21st, with a participation ribbon giveaway just for showing up, napping in selfie stations, along with lots of avocados."
I don't think that the writer knows that they weren't actually trying to attract.
Yeah.
Somebody missed the joke there.
This was not an actual a campaign to attract millennials. This was to get people who are sick of that stuff to come.
It's like they don't see the fucking the box with the word trap on it, like right in front of them. And they're just like, we don't get easily offended. How fucking dare you?
Let's see. Vice President of Fan Engagement, Mike Murphy, told Fox News this is just one of 70 promotions the Biscuits offer for their home games, ranging from Outdoors Night to Military Wednesdays and Autism Friendly Night. What? This season marks the first full year under new management, and the team is testing out its funny bone. Quote, 80% of the people in our front office are millennials, myself included, and we're just having fun with some of the cliches that people point out about millennials, Murphy said. The tweet advertising Millennial Night has since gone viral, with nearly 700 retweets, 600 comments, and 1,500 favorites.
700 retweets isn't viral.
Not these days, no.
It's probably viral for them.
That could be
honest. The fucking biscuits. Come on, man.
The backlash on Twitter was swift, criticizing the post for its insensitivity and thoughtlessness.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. So the not offended people criticized it because it was insensitive.
Yes.
One tweet read, quote, "As a non-millennial, I think your copy was supposed to read, Riverwalk Stadium will have a condescending promo intended to ensure millennials never visit again."
Yeah, pretty much.
And if it did that, who would complain?
Exactly.
Oh, right. Millennials who wouldn't attend the ball game anyway.
Right. A bunch of whiny bitches are going to avoid this place.
So let me get this straight. It is offensive to do this at a ballpark where you have a safe space for them. But if you have an actual safe space with coloring books and puppies, that's okay.
Oh, here we go. This one person gets it, even though they're, I don't know. See, this person's name is just amazing. Dallas Godshall. Godshall. Dallas Godshall, 21, said he expects attendance to decline after the advertising. Quote, "I'm not going to go to it, so it didn't work on me," he chuckled. "More than targeting millennials, it's sort of targeting older generations who like to make fun of millennials and like to say that millennials don't like working and don't like caring for themselves." You think?
Thank you, Point Curation. Sorry, Millennial Night and Autism Night are different? Apparently they are.
Don't worry, the same people will be at both.
Okay, so that's the gist that goes on for a little bit more, but
that's awesome.
The meat of the story.
Do we have a couple more we can do?
Sure.
I know I didn't do shit today.
You want some the perfect night to commit a human sacrifice?
Sure, that sounds awesome.
All right, this comes from the Top Ramen Lewis. Why the July 27th lunar eclipse will last so freakishly long? Satan. That's my guess.
Hail Satan.
Why are some eclipses longer than others? I'm guessing the position of the moon in relation to the Earth and the sun at the time of the eclipse. That's my guess.
Stop being all sciencey.
The longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century is coming on July 27th, with a totality set to last a full hour and 43 minutes over Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia. So not us. Yeah. Nearly 4 hours will pass from the moment Earth's shadow darkens the leading edge of the moon to the moment the moon's full shine returns. For comparison, the next lunar eclipse visible from North America on January 21st, 2019, will last just an hour and 2 minutes. The solar eclipse that swept across 14 U.S. states in August 2017 remained in totality for no more than 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
This is over Africa, so obviously eclipses are racist.
Yeah.
Or they're equatorist.
Or because it's over Africa, this particular one is inclusive and diverse.
Do you realize how many African Americans are in Africa?
From what I've heard, lots. Matter of fact, all of them.
All of them.
So yeah, if you're getting ready to do some kind of ritual or something that requires a blood moon. Actually, Blood Moon was a really cheesy werewolf movie back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing. Let's see if I can get one more in before we move on. What is that? Sarah Plyer has sent us something that doesn't have a preview to it, so I'll just click on the link. Undocumented immigrant pleads guilty in death of Colts linebacker Edwin Jackson. I think I remember this. Wasn't this like a few months back? The man accused of hitting and killing NFL linebacker Edwin Jackson and his rideshare driver with a truck in February agreed to a plea deal Friday. Manuel Orrego Zavala pleaded guilty to 2 counts of causing the death of a person while driving under the influence of alcohol. He faces 10 to 16 years in prison when he's sentenced in September. Orrego Zavala, 37, is a Guatemalan citizen who entered the United States illegally in July 2004, according to detectives, and was deported twice in 2007 and 2009. You know what? When they caught him again in 2009, that's when he should have gone to prison.
You think?
Because that's the law. You face up to 10 years in prison.
That's what was it? Not original. What they say?
Nativist.
Nativist. That's
Yes,
nativist, tribe.
Yeah, breaking federal laws, nativist. Prosecuting breakings of federal law. Defense attorney John L. Tompkins said his client is extremely remorseful. Orrego Zavala was originally charged with 4 counts, but agreed to plead guilty to 2 counts if the other 2 counts were dropped. Tompkins is also representing Orrego Zavala in a federal criminal case alleging illegal entry into the United States. Alleging? Okay.
So wait, he was deported twice, and it's still alleged.
Yes.
That he's here illegally.
It's alleged.
Yeah, he came here illegally in 2004. He was kicked out in 2007. Then he came back to the country at some point, and then was kicked out again in 2009. And then he had to come back here a 3rd time at some point to kill these guys.
Yeah, and allegedly he's an
allegedly. Yeah, allegedly he's a Guatemalan citizen, and allegedly he doesn't have anything to prove that he actually belongs here. Allegedly. Okay. Update on the suspect in Trader Joe's standoff is now in custody. He's arrested after hours-long standoff. Los Angeles police handcuffed a man outside a Trader Joe's, bringing an apparent end to an incident in which a man barricaded himself inside the grocery store for hours after running from police. Quote, "We have successfully taken the suspect into custody without incident." Okay, so no further people that we know of have been hurt, although his grandmother was shot. And a younger female was shot earlier in the day. We don't know how they are at this point, but that is the latest and greatest. So I'll keep updating this as we go. But there you go.
All right.
Alrighty then. And that will bring a close to MSS News. Guys, thanks so much for all the submissions, because there's nights like this where we don't have any fucking news, and that really helps us out. That brings us to YouTube time, and as I said, I didn't do anything today. Had kind of a family day. Satsu, what did you work on?
I did a test stream today. It was private because I wanted to test out and see if we're going to be good. I think my suspicion was correct. I do believe that I needed to update because I did have an update. And the stream, I streamed for like 30 minutes or whatever, and it was smooth pretty much the whole time. Little skip every now and then, but I didn't get any indication that the stream was messed up. But I've also come to the conclusion that I blame Randy. It was Randy's fault.
Damn it, Randy! Oh yeah.
If
you weren't watching Satsu's stream last night, he had a very generous donor make a very generous donation.
Wow,
and that's really cool.
Yeah, Randy broke the stream. So because it was fine. It was fine until Randy showed up. And the weight of his generosity completely destroyed the stream. So, yeah. But other than that, I've uploaded the regular videos. Also, I did a anime video about the latest episode of Naruto because it was fucking awesome and amazing. And for everybody who gives a shit, you've probably already seen it and probably already know. But
there's Randy. Hey, Randy.
Aha! Fear my donation, bitches. Yeah, dude. I mean,
hey, if you want to break my stream, I'm all for it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he pre-warned me that he had one more stream for me that I wasn't going to be ready for, and I forgot that he even said it because I was just doing my usual and prepping for the stream, and we got set up, and he slapped me in the face with $400, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh. What it was, damn.
Yeah. And the stream broke after that. It just stopped functioning. Yeah, so I appreciate it. Once again, Randy, you are the man, but you know this already. Other than that, I'm going to start uploading videos on my main channel. I'll probably have one up tomorrow because there was something I wanted to talk about, and it probably won't be very long, but we'll see.
I will talk about what I'm planning for my next video at Fuck Your Tree Time. Scribbles, what are you working on? How's your video working out?
Well, I posted it this morning.
Cool.
I woke up, early as I am wont to do, and basically just immediately dived into revising the script, recording the audio, putting it together, and posting it. As I stated previously, this was probably the video I had the least fun in trying to critique, not because I didn't have anything to say, but because the subject matter just inherently disgusts me.
Mm-hmm.
It deals with a TEDx talk that, as far as I understand, TEDx has since taken down, and from what I hear, are going after anybody who mirrors it with copyright strikes.
No.
So
If it's just a straight mirror, I don't blame them for that. But
yeah,
douchebags.
but all the same, my video does not cover the entire talk. I never intended to cover the entire talk. Well, I should say that there came a certain point where I was like, there's nothing more this person is going to say about this that isn't just a repeat of everything they've already said. So I just kind of called it about halfway through.
Now,
basically, it is I believe she's a student in Germany who is arguing for. But it wasn't so much an argument. She just kind of stated it as fact that pedophilia is a sexual orientation.
mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the core of the problem I have with her thesis, let's say, because if by her logic, and I think one of my viewers made this, and it's a much better analogy than the ones I used in the video, but then pyromania is a sexual orientation. The lady who's in love with a train station equates to a sexual orientation, etc. These are things that, but the biggest problem I had with her argument, just on a sort of intellectual level, was at a certain point, she explains that pedophiles can be either heterosexual or homosexual in their desires. I'm like, wait. You can't use a sexual orientation in defining your sexual orientation.
Right.
No, you that doesn't track, and you have failed before you've begun. And I make that point relatively clear. But really, the linchpin of the whole thing is this claim that we need to consider pedophilia on the same level as a commonality, so to speak, as we do heterosexuality.
I want to. Yeah. I know. I want to go see your video just slightly to see if this is the same bitch I think it is. Because we talked about her on stream.
Yeah, this was a video that a couple people sent to me, and I know that Gary Orsom posted a video about the same thing just like yesterday or the day before. And as soon as I saw that he posted that, I was kind of like, maybe I shouldn't. But I was like, you know what? I'm not.
That's her.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch. I didn't watch Gary Orsom's video. I have no idea what he said. So if he and I repeated stuff or even gags or whatever, then just serendipity. But
thank you, Snubbirth. Even if it's actually a sexual orientation, it is not one to indulge. Indeed, but it's not a sexual orientation. That sexual orientation is I like men, I like women, not I like children.
Yeah. So anyway, this was the crux of her argument that society needs to. There was a point at which she said one of the biggest causes of child sexual abuse is the isolation of the abuser, in that they have no outlet, no one to talk to about their problems, and so because of their isolation and their fear of rejection in society, they lash out. And I was like, wait. So it's society's fault for not embracing pedophiles as to why pedophiles do what they do. It's not the pedophiles' fault for abusing children.
Well, you know what? If you look at that argument from a different angle and couple it to what we were saying before, like getting them help and shit like that, because keeping them isolated and just away from the world, that's not getting them help. Like they're not getting any help like that, and just being treated like a disgusting whatever. Sure. And being, shut out of literally any public space. That's going, that's the result. Like there's no getting around that. So from that perspective, it kind of raises a point, but like it almost seems like they're kind of like, well, this is your fault. No, it's no, it's not.
Well, there's a couple things going on here. First and foremost, it is the responsibility of the person who is suffering from this to seek help. Right. Society can't know that someone has these urges or these thoughts unless they go out and seek help to begin with. So yes, on that score, I completely agree. If someone comes forward and says, I have this problem, then there should be allowances made to make sure that they get the therapy they need, but also that the precautions are taken, whatever they may be, to ensure they don't act on these urges. Okay, that's one thing, and that's a completely separate issue. But trying to say that then pedophilia should be considered in society as either normalized or acceptable as a thought process is right up there with somebody who's a serial rapist or a serial killer or a con man, someone who has a someone who has a compulsion. See, here's the thing, and again, I understand that these are different levels of crime, but they're no less horrific depending on the circumstances. The issue is if someone has an overriding compulsion to take action that requires the victimization of innocent people, doesn't matter what the crime is, that is not something to either normalize or encourage. And yes, if someone is cursed with a thought process and a mental illness that makes them think things that are abhorrent to the rest of society, that is bad. And if they're aware of it and they take action to try to mitigate their problems and everything else, good on them for doing so. But that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make having an urge to stab people, that doesn't make an urge to swindle people okay. And you shouldn't be even encouraging it or even saying a little bit passable about it. And that's, I know it's a touchy issue. I know if someone is suffering from a mental illness, regardless of the mental illness, they don't necessarily have any control over the urges themselves, but it is up to them to take control and find the help that they need to do it. And society can't be held responsible for that. The only thing society can do is to actively, socially, and legally discourage that behavior from being made acceptable. And that's the opposite of what this lady was, even in part, trying to do.
Right. And
go ahead.
And I could, like I said, from the angle that I was looking at it, I can understand looking at it from a perspective of a person who comes out and they're like, hey, I have this problem and I need somebody to talk to about it. I want to see if I can find some help. And some person's like, what? You have that problem? And beats the shit out of them. And they're just like, well,
yeah,
like, I'm fucking afraid to tell anybody else because if I do, they might fucking lash out and kick my ass or whatever. So from that perspective of like not fucking being like, what? That's what you do? And fucking like, dragging them down the street behind your car or some shit like that. Like,
why do they need to talk about it in society? Go get fucking help. You don't need to come out and go, I'm a pedophile.
Yeah. No, not in that way. I'm just saying.
But that's what they're asking for. That is literally what they're fucking asking for. They need to be able to talk to people about.
Well, that's what they're talking about. Yeah, and that's fucking stupid. But I'm just saying.
And I say this in the video. I say, yeah, no, I understand, and it is. And even in one point in the talk, she says, now, this subject makes most people very uncomfortable to talk about. And it's like, gee, you think? Well, why would that be? Why do so many of us have such a visceral disgust to the notion of child rape? I don't know why that is. But here's the thing. Yeah, this is what doctor-patient confidentiality is for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yeah. This is pedophilia is never and should never be held to any acceptable standard of behavior, thought process, or otherwise. Yes, it is a mental illness. Yes, people do not have necessarily any control over their urges or what their body's telling them makes them happy or whatever else. I get that.
Well, see, no, hang on. Okay. This is what gets me about the whole pedophile argument and what you just said there, no control over your urges. We all have fucking urges.
Yes.
And we learn to deal with them. I see a beautiful lady, like, I would love to fuck that. I don't do it.
No. Let me clarify.
No, I understand.
I'm not making apologia for the notion of having those urges. I'm just saying that if you are afflicted with a mental illness that makes you see things to the opposite of what civilized society would prefer, like, gee, that lady looks really pretty. I wonder what her skin would look like on my wall. You know? I mean, and there is a difference between having an urge and acting on it. It's true. And if you have not committed a crime, and I want to say committed a crime because one of my, I think it was First Cynic, made a very good point I wish I had. The speaker said something to the effect of, a pedophile who does not act on their impulses is not a criminal. And I'm like, you're correct. However, First Cynic made the point of like, well, sure, they may not act on their impulses, but what if they engage in collecting child pornography? What if they're still promoting the harm of children elsewhere by their actions? Like, well, that's also a possibility. But that could also be included in acting on your impulses. So either way. But
I got into an argument with a woman on Twitter the other day because she was doing the same basic thing, except for she was upset because people say, kill pedophiles, and she's like, we can't say that. If they didn't do anything, they don't deserve to die. And it's like, you're right, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I am fine with people going, you know what, fuck pedophiles, and it's like. What you're doing here is you're trying to normalize it. You're trying to make it the same thing as going back to say like the 50s and coming out as gay, because there was a thought, it's a mental illness. There were people who, as Satsu was describing, would beat you to death in the street for being gay.
Right.
Not the same fucking thing. Not even close. Because what you're talking about here is raping children. Not having consensual sex with another adult. Raping children. And that is different. And that you have to be fucking told this is...
Right. I will back the argument 100% for finding these people help, making sure that there are places and locations where they can go to receive it or whatever. But acceptance, that is not on my list of things that I'm willing to get.
It doesn't need to be normalized in society. No, just no.
Anyway, I did my best in places to kind of try to not make light of the subject matter per se, but just sort of inject a little bit of, I don't know, humorous shock or disdain for some of the notions. She does make a couple of statements and points that are not untrue. Like I said, that a person who is diagnosed as a pedophile but does nothing to enact or try to gratify that impulse should not be treated inhumanely, should not be treated unfairly in society, etc. I do believe that for a fact. While the idea that someone has those thoughts absolutely disgusts me, there are a lot of people who are afflicted with a lot of things that they have under control and they don't do anything about it. And that's fine. Whether you're talking about somebody who's bipolar or somebody who really likes, I don't know, picking the skin off their feet or something. I don't know. You have a compulsion, you have OCD or something, but you don't do it or you find a way to control it. It is your responsibility. People are cursed with things all the time that it is up to them to control. I'm cursed with anxiety and depression. I found a way to control it and not have it lash out in the real world. It wasn't fun, and it was a daily struggle until I got some help. When I finally admitted I need some help, I got some help, much better now. That's what you do. That's how you take responsibility for your life, regardless of what you're afflicted with. Anyway, there's my soliloquy for what it is.
So wait, not to make light of this situation at all, but do we have like not being a pedo privilege?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We have not being a pedo.
Oh, is that coming next? I wouldn't be surprised. Oh my God.
The whole idea of normalizing pedophilia is just wrong to me, and that's what this is. It's a push to do that. And here's the thing: you can have all kinds of fucked up thoughts in your head. Go talk to a therapist. Talk to your doctor. Don't get a T-shirt that says "I am a pedo" because somebody's going to kick your ass, and I'm going to be with them. Sorry. Don't fuck children. I don't know why we have to have this conversation.
Like World Star.
Anyhow,
World Stars. Oh my God.
My next video, and somebody actually messaged me on Twitter asking me if I would do this, is going to be about this gun guy. Except it's not. It's going to be partially about him and partially about fuck, what was her name? The comedian from the other day.
Elaine Boozler.
Because I was off Twitter yesterday, and most of when you guys were talking about this last night, I was fucking spaced out. I do apologize for that. But I went to Twitter today, and there's still people who are defending this guy getting fired for shit he did 10 years ago. And we've had instances like, somebody said something horrible on Twitter, and then they were immediately fired. I understand why companies do that. I still don't agree with it, and that's something we'll talk about in a fucking minute.
When you said that gun guy, I thought this was something to do with gun rights.
Sorry,
okay,
no. What's
James Gunn. James Gunn.
Thank you.
Okay, I was like, that gun guy.
No, sorry. The guy who got fired for his old tweets from Disney. Yes. It's amazing how many people I saw today saying, "Well, I support this because I'm holding them to their standard because Roseanne got fired."
All right.
Here's the thing: if you hold somebody, I'm using air quotes here, to their standard, that becomes your standard.
Right.
Because you are now enforcing what they did. Now, you can point out that, what's his name? James Gunn? James Gunn, who apparently was all on board with the Roseanne firing and thought it was great. You can point out he's a fucking hypocrite all day long. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But if you start asking for him to be fired over it, when you're mad because Roseanne got fired, you're not only a hypocrite, you've just made that your standard.
Yes.
Why is that so fucking hard to understand?
And and that's why I have a problem with hypocrisy so much, because if I see a person who killed somebody and another person was like, oh shit, that's horrible, and he berated that person for months on end, like, you're a fucking terrible person for doing that shit or whatever, and then that person kills somebody, then I'm like, you're worse. Like, I see you as worse than him, because like I don't know why, but it just, for some reason, like, yeah, I'm still mad at that other dude for doing it, but you are way more disgusting of a human being to me, in my opinion. And I don't know why specifically I see it that way, but I'm just like, you're way worse.
Well, it's because regardless of the situation, if someone takes the opportunity to try to elevate their own virtuous image to others with a declaration of how horrible it is that women would be abused in Hollywood. Oh, hi, I'm Kevin Spacey. It's like for someone to be abused in Hollywood, like, I'm Harvey Weinstein. It makes it more because it makes it worse because they stood on the ethical platform of the opposite of what they actually do. Oh, and yeah. It doesn't make the crime that they've committed or the offense that they've done or whatever else any worse technically on sort of a temporal level, but just as on a personal level, it just shows how much this person was a complete asshat. Yeah. more so than your average bear, basically.
Yeah, and for me, go ahead.
Real quick, there's a snubber that says, I don't agree with him getting fired, but being stabbed by their own sword seems to be an irony lost on them. I get that, I do. But my values don't change just because somebody else has been an asshat.
Right. I just feel like, because somebody had asked me before, like, you kind of are surrounded by, like, some questionable people, who might be considered, assholes, or some dude who might say like overtly racist things or whatever. And I'm like, I would rather spend time with an overt racist, somebody who says things outwardly and honestly about what they feel about me as a black person, than somebody who says a whole bunch of nice shit, but like is just waiting for, like, their ticking time bomb and waiting to fucking stab you in the back later. Like, because at least I can see the dude's hand. Like, he's a fucking racist. I know he is. I got my eye on him. He's honest. He says what he feels. Fuck that dude. But you're a fucking snake, and snakes are much worse to me. Like, I don't know, man. I got an unnatural hatred for those people that probably shouldn't be as deep as it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, a hypocrite is they know it's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing too is that in addition to whatever they've done or however they've contradicted themselves, it also shows them to be a liar on top of everything else, which I know that should, depending on what it was that they did that they're hypocritical about, might be the lesser crime. But at the same time, it's sort of like, you deceived others, you took advantage of other people's faith in you, etc. I think that's probably it.
Peter said Fritz.
That's
not. It's like the male feminist who gets busted being a douche.
Wolf in sheep's clothing kind of stuff. Yeah.
Those people, man, they infuriate me.
Well, I was honestly shocked. I know this kind of hypocrisy exists in the world. I was just honestly shocked by how many people were so passionately defending being okay with this guy being fired for that.
Yeah.
But then if you take a look at the guy who did it, Matt mentioned him last night, Mike Cernovich. He's the one who pushed this so far. Mike likes to make jokes about a rape.
Mm-hmm.
And those are out there for you to find if you want to see him. Jeff Holiday linked one earlier when Irate Bear brought it up on Twitter. So apparently raping women is fine now. Because reasons. No, wait, it's a fucking joke.
Right. Do you think, and I know this is, I think we talked about this a little bit last night, but a lot of the backlash to this has been in this vein. Do you think there's any chance Disney will change its mind?
No.
I don't think so either. There's a lot of people that are like, starting a petition or something else, like, give him his job back, rehire him, etc. Even if like deep in the bowels of Disney, they decided that maybe they overreacted, I don't think there's any chance in hell that they would risk losing face on something like this by reversing themselves at this point.
Prospero said, and Prospero had mentioned this earlier, that he was going after somebody else. Apparently, he's going after Michael Ian Black now.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. And it's just like, dude, give it up.
Now, let me tell you this. Looking at Michael Ian Black, if it came out that he was a pedo, I would not be surprised. But him making jokes about it doesn't make him a pedo. Somebody linked a oh God, what's her name? Sarah Silverman tweet where she said she asked about, you know, basically raping a child, and says, I need to know this quickly. And it made it sound like she had like 2 minutes to rape a kid. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking joke. And this person, we need to start exposing people. Like, well, you might want to watch my show, because do you remember the Attractive Kids? I've made so many pedophile jokes about that that it's kind of silly.
Congressman, whoever it was. Oh God, that was so bad.
And jokes are jokes, and if you want to stop treating them as that, then you're going to fucking ruin our society and turn us into Germany, because they're the people who have no fucking sense of humor. Anyhow, yeah, that's all I really had there. Because I just could not believe how many people were so defending their own hypocrisy. It's like, no, it's not my hypocrisy, it's theirs. So like, yeah, but now it's yours because you own it.
Right. It's yours now because you were celebrating the very thing that they were celebrating that you had a problem with. But see, when I put up that post after that dude, that other dude got attacked, like he got his hat like snatched off and the dude spit on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. I put up a post that said, I don't want to hear any complaining when the retaliation starts, because it's going to. And when it does, you know, because these people are going to eventually get sick of being attacked in the streets, and they're going to start attacking back or attacking first. And somebody said, you sound like you would condone it. And I'm like, I didn't say anything about me condoning it. Anybody who decides to fucking go out and attack people in the streets, you know, rather it be fear that they're going to be attacked first or whatever, fuck those people. But I won't be listening to the complaints of the people who've been condoning this shit from the beginning. Like, I don't want to hear shit from you.
Well, somebody linked to me as a thing that said, people who are for free speech, they don't understand that Roseanne can say what she wants, but it doesn't mean that she can't suffer consequences.
Nobody has ever. That is like the biggest straw man of like that argument since its inception. That is because nobody has ever argued that one time. It has never been brought up. It has never been used as an argument. But for some reason, that's what everybody goes to.
Well, because there are people who don't seem to understand that there is a difference between legal and available. Like, Twitter can kick me off anytime they want to. Yeah. That is not a violation of the First Amendment. If Twitter kicks somebody off, I can still think it's wrong, even though it doesn't violate the First Amendment, because I believe in free speech. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Snubber. There's a archive picture floating around about Gunn and some NAMBLA member. Yeah, that was sent to me as well. And if you look at what he said there, it's in quotes. It was a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a joke. If somebody comes out with evidence that this guy's a pedo, fine, fire him for that. Firing him for a fucking joke is stupid. Mm-hmm. It's just, and how many pedos do you think are actually out there making jokes about child rape? They keep that shit on the down low. You know why? Because they want to touch your kids.
And they don't want to go to jail.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
Or other things that may happen to somebody if they get caught doing that shit.
Yeah, they're not running out there with a "I'm a pedo" T-shirt.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make that and send it. So. Did you see the Patton Oswalt tweet?
No.
He said he's a pedophile.
Okay.
And he meant it as somebody who walks pedo, as somebody who walks a lot. Likes walking. Yeah.
A pedestrian.
What's wrong with these people making pedo jokes? It's a fucking joke. Get over it. It was a stupid joke.
Well, you know, just like feminists say, rape jokes are never funny. Black people say racist jokes are never funny.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, well, and I actually was having a conversation with a feminist about this too, because she was like, I think people who laugh at rape jokes are bad people. And I was like, you might want to re-examine that. Because, if you go back in your lifetime and think of everything you have ever laughed at, a good majority of it has probably been somebody else's misfortune, whether you know it or not, or whether you intend it to or not. And one of the examples I gave is I was like, when I was in grade school, this teacher fell and broke her leg. I laughed my ass off. I didn't know she broke her leg, and I still helped her up while I was still kind of laughing. But I helped her up and seen if she was okay or whatever. But that was instinct because it was random, and it just came out of nowhere. And we were just walking, and then she was on the ground, and I was dying. But I'm like, that doesn't make me a bad person because I still helped her up. I still made sure that she was okay. And I helped carry her back to the classroom because she was genuinely injured. But you're not a bad person because something is humorous to you.
Well, here's the thing. Humor and jokes are the reflexive therapy for misfortune.
Mm-hmm.
That's where humor comes from. Humor is a coping mechanism oftentimes for things that are not funny.
Right.
That's how we try to not take life too seriously, even with, and especially with sometimes the darkest parts of things. So firing this guy for making jokes, as tasteless and or unfunny as they were, about pedophilia, what are you trying to say? We must all show pedophilia its due respect? I don't quite. It's the same thing that happened to Count Dankula. He's like, he turned his dog into a Nazi because making Nazis into a cute, tiny pug is offensive to Nazis, I would assume. But we can't offend Nazis? No?
You can't offend Nazis. They will cry if you make jokes about them.
They're a protected class or something, I guess. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, we still got 10 minutes before we turn it over to chat. Let's see. What else can we talk about? I had a subject earlier today, but I was upstairs and I didn't have my pad to write it down. Shit.
Okay, so you have nothing.
I have nothing.
All right.
Okay, we'll turn it over to chat. Guys, if you have questions, comments, concerns, stories, jokes, I won't read all of them, but throw them into chat too. Throw them into chat now. We'll do our best to talk about them. So give me things to talk about, guys. I'm out. Pugs are great. I hate pugs. I really do. Those are ugly little dogs.
Squishy loves them because they're ugly.
I'm not a dog fan, and I know.
Shit.
I don't hate dogs, but I'm not a dog fan. I'm really not. Stargazer Nuts says, talk about us. You guys are awesome.
I'm just not a dogs in my house fan. I like dogs when they're everywhere else but inside of my home.
A couple of people have asked us what we're playing tonight. The plan is to finish up Dying Light.
Yeah.
If the stream holds. If it doesn't, then we'll switch over to Far Cry, right?
Yeah. That's the plan, and hopefully it works out. I'm trying to be optimistic. But you know how that goes.
Captain Brambles wants to know if I know any good, or if any of us know any good cripple jokes. Just the one God's playing on me right now. Ebony Williams wants to know Scarface or The Godfather. The Godfather. I think it's a better story.
Yeah, and it's a bit more classy and timeless. As much as I love Scarface.
Scarface is great.
It's great, but it's dated as fuck.
Yeah.
The clothing and everything else. And I understand, yeah, I mean, it is an artifact of the, sort of the death of disco, early 80s kind of stuff. And that's fine. And that gives it a lot of character. But there's just something so timelessly classy about Godfather.
Yeah, with Scarface, it's much more of a in-your-face kind of violent movie where the Godfather is subdued, and like classy is a great word for that movie. I mean, it's about a bunch of killers, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Veror, and I know I always say that wrong. How's Grand Monkey? She's great. She was just mad because we couldn't go out. She wasn't even mad. She was just sad that we couldn't go outside today.
Aw.
Best worst 80s B movie.
That would take forever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to give that a lot of time.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good ones though. Scribe Light, I bought the Hunt for Red October book today. Can't wait to read it, says Sarah.
Yeah, the book. I mean, it's one of those rare instances where I read the book after I saw the movie, and it was like reading the movie for the most part. There are
cool.
Yeah, I mean, like Hunt for Red October, the two that I know of, and I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of others out there, but the two that I know of that really struck me were Hunt for Red October and Silence of the Lambs. Those things were basically they just took the book and made it into a script. The thing about the novel, though, is that it explains fully Ramius's motivation, which they could have put into the fucking movie with like 3 lines of dialogue, but for whatever reason, they left it out. They never explained why was he defecting. They mentioned that his wife died, but they never say why that caused him to want to defect, because there's a whole story behind that they never mentioned. I won't spoil it here, even though I've mentioned it in the past, in case you're reading the book now. But once you get to that point, you'll understand. The movie makes so much more sense if they just said that. Anyway.
Ebony asks, should I give Black Clover another chance? I haven't, so.
Black Clover?
What is Black Clover?
It's an anime. And it started off so abysmally bad that I haven't gone back yet, even though I kind of want, because a lot of people are pulling that, it gets much better once you get past this shit. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to fucking, wade through fucking garbage just to get a good show. It was so annoying when it first started, but I've been thinking about it. I got to run out of shit to watch first.
Circus Zero says, Monkey, have you heard how to make an 8-year-old girl cry twice? Actually, I've heard that as how do you make a 3-year-old cry twice, and I won't answer that on air.
Oh,
is it a big? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was about to say that's probably one of the worst jokes that I've ever heard in regards to that.
It is the worst joke I've ever heard.
Yeah,
it is fucking horrible, but it's still just a joke, guys. Is it a big deal? God damn you, Shio. Is it a big deal to find out that your spouse gave oral to over 100 guys, or is my wife overreacting? Bear wants to know my favorite internet bear. That would be Irate Bear, and you can check out his channel, which, although he's mostly on Irate Alex these days. Which is better, Burger King, McDonald's, or Wendy's? Okay, Wendy's is too greasy.
Really?
Yes.
I only go to Wendy's for the chicken sandwiches, so I wouldn't know. But they got the best chicken sandwiches ever.
Burger King's off the list. Burger King makes me ill. I had a bad experience with a Burger King burger one time, and I've been sort of off that ever since. So it'd be, I guess, McDonald's if I had to choose between the three, but I'm kind of impartial when it comes to Wendy's and McDonald's.
I like McDonald's for dinner kind of stuff and Burger King for breakfast stuff.
Yeah, Burger King's breakfast stuff is pretty good.
Oh man, have you had the is it the ultimate Chris sandwich? I forget what it's called, but it has ham and sausage and bacon on that bitch.
No, I've never had
bacon
that
bitch.
Oh, it is so it is a heart attack in a sandwich, but it is so good. I get it without the egg because it's nasty. A wild irate bear has appeared, and he's got camera on. What's up, dude?
Hello. I was expecting you. I was expecting to be told to fuck off when I asked to come on.
And your screen is green.
It is. Isn't it nice?
It is. It's very nice.
I actually got my eye on a collapsible one that I've been looking at, the Elgato one.
Ooh, yeah. So now you can have a special effect where you pretend where you live somewhere interesting.
Yeah,
what the hell is that?
Shitty ass apartment.
I live in a house actually, and the area I do live in is not interesting. But it only cost me 14 Great British pounds.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap.
Yeah, and I had the missus tie up like a block of wood, and I've got like a bunch of pincer clips that hold it in place for me.
There you go.
Yeah, so sorted.
Have you found out chroma keying yet?
I'm not too bad at it. I've done a few videos with it so far. I'm not amazing at it because the green screens require a butt ton of light, and so does my camera. At the moment, the quality is really bad because there's not enough light behind it. It's a Brio. All Logitech cameras just require a fuck ton of light behind them. I don't know if you can see, but I've got like a plank of wood that holds strip lights.
Oh my god.
I have a very ghetto setup.
Indeed.
In the ghetto.
In the ghetto. How are we, chaps?
Cold and gray Chicago morning.
Much better now that you're here.
Oh,
sarcastic motherfucker.
I am much better since you're here. Why the hell are you up right now, man?
Yeah, seriously.
You having trouble sleeping?
My sleeping pattern is completely broken. at the moment.
For the record, chat, we will get back to that in just a moment. I apologize. We've been distracted by a bear, but he's worth it. So,
Worth it.
Are they getting you figured out, man?
What mentally?
Well, whatever's keeping you up and making it so you're not a happy bear all the time.
Oh, I'm gonna go doctors on Monday, mate. But
Gotcha.
I get the feeling that it's going to take a very long time before I get any kind of proper diagnosis. So yeah,
I think your hibernating schedule as a bear has just been switched around, is all.
yeah. Well, no, I tend to not be able to sleep anyway. I struggle regardless. I only sleep about 4 hours a day. So,
damn, dude, that's worse than me.
That sounds like my sleeping schedule.
The last 2 times I've slept, it's been 12 hours and no, it's 13 hours and 10 hours last night. Anyway, let's do some more questions here. You are what is keeping Bear up, says Random American.
I wish I knew not to quit you.
Azure says, why not get a ring light like the makeup channels? That's not a bad idea, actually.
That's not a bad idea. They're expensive though. They're really expensive.
You can get there's the studio lights you can get for pretty cheap that came with the bundle for my original green screen that I got, and they're like 30 bucks.
How big are they?
They're big. They're like
I ain't got room for that, mate. I've got a proper studio light. I'm using it as a light in my bedroom at the minute because I refuse to go out and buy a new light bulb. And it's too big, mate. It's too big. There's not enough room in here for me to do that kind of stuff.
That's what she said.
Pussy.
And all the questions have dried up. Okay, I'm going to scroll back.
Jack had a question, I think.
Where? What did it say? Read it.
Do you think a return to the cheesy 80 movies could reboot the movie industry?
Yes, I've talked about this before. The 80s were a much more interesting time for movies because there was experimentation, but there was also just plain silliness. Some of the movies that were made just wouldn't be made today, and these were hit movies. So, yeah,
I don't think Hollywood is that kind of brave anymore. Like you'll see once in a blue moon like a Deadpool, where it's just like the studio says, okay, you know, here's $30 million and just whatever, it's a write-off kind of thing, and then it blows up because somebody was allowed to basically make the movie they wanted to make. But then you get something like The Last Jedi, where the exact same thing happened, and it was a fucking disaster. So I don't think Hollywood knows how to take risks anymore. You're probably going to see more stuff independently made, but at the same time, it'll be independently made, but it probably won't be distributed by a major studio because they still don't know how to take risks. So,
Anarchy asked me what my name is. My name is Frank.
What? You've doxed yourself, monkey.
Again.
Oh my God, for like the 17th time. No.
I like calling you monkey.
I prefer monkey when I'm online.
His name's Frank.
I've legally changed my name to Scribe.
Yes.
Just so y'all know. There's no questions anymore.
If God created Adam from mud and dust, couldn't he create his own son instead of fucking my wife? Oh my God.
Wow. That is a deep and interesting question there.
Oh God.
Jen, I'm gonna have to go with he should have been able to. I don't know why he didn't.
That is hilarious.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What else we got here? Scribe, do you want to read the blurb for the game stream again tonight?
Do I want to? Sure. Did you have one, or did I miss it already?
I don't know if it's come. I don't know if he's typed it into our chat yet.
Right,
just keep an eye out for Ryan.
Let me know if you spot it before I do.
Sheogorath, you're dirty. Sorry to interrupt.
He is.
You know Sheogorath is dirty.
He is. That joke in the chat there is just terrible.
Yikes.
Data says, "What are you kidding? BK breakfast sucks. Mickey D's breakfast rules and served all day." You and Lady Monkey would get along. I find their breakfast to be way too fucking dry.
Not in the UK. It's not. It stops at 10:30 a.m.
That's when it used to stop here. But people are like, I need biscuits all day. Which pie do you prefer? Apple, blueberry, chocolate, or pumpkin? Apple.
Apple, yeah, reflexively. I don't think I've ever had a good blueberry pie. I know it can be done, but I can't recall ever actually having one.
The only apple pie that I've ever eaten that I actually enjoyed was made by a person I hate. So,
That's the worst. That's the worst.
Yeah, so there you go.
The McDonald's apple pies aren't too bad.
No,
They'll just melt your flesh off. That's all.
They're
They're not too bad, except for the fact you'll have no lips when you're done with them.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Donation.
Is there? I got to scroll down. Thank you. The next live streams, Thanos did nothing wrong. Yeah, there's a great story from the Sacramento Bee. I forget what the name of the goofy paper is, where they talk about Disney firing Thanos because of the mean stuff he said.
Right.
Let's see. Read that.
Thanos was a purist.
What is the funniest thing you've ever seen a drunk or high person do? Oh God. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
The funniest thing. So in college, I had a friend, and I've only tried like.
He's had friends since.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. I've only tried pot twice in my whole life, but like my friends in college, they were potheads. And this one friend of mine, we were sitting around just kind of talking or whatever, and he started lighting up his pipe, and he's already really high. And it was one of those. He's a really like happy high guy, like everything is funny. So he's lighting up his pipe on this couch, and I'm kind of like lounging on the floor at this point because there wasn't any sitting room. We're kind of watching TV, and I look up at him as he's lighting up his pipe, and he looks down at me. And I just look him straight in the eye and deadpan. I just look at him, I say, Sasquatch. And he busts out laughing, blows into his pipe. The ashes and embers from the lit pot fly up in the air and into his lap and start melting his pants. And he starts laughing as he's like, oh my God, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. And he's like running around. And it was fucking hilarious.
I have one from my Navy days, if you'd like to hear a tale.
Please.
I had a friend whose name was Kane. And whenever he was a true social hand grenade after a few cheeky drinks, and one night we were in Cape Verde, which is an archipelago of islands off the coast of West Africa, and he got shitbagged, as you could imagine. And we came back to ship. I went to bed. He wasn't in his bed the following morning, so I figured he'd already gotten up, showered, and was ready for work. Then an Operation Thimble Hunt was called for him, and what that means is someone's gone missing. So we started searching the ship for him, and we found him in the 4.5 gun bay, naked, knocked out on the floor. And what had happened is he'd come back off a night out, had decided to get up for a drink, a drink and an old man's tinkle. And as he had lifted his foot to sort of step into the toilets, he fell backwards and went down a ladder and knocked himself out in the process.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is some shit right there, man.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
Let's see. Peterbilt says, Irate Bear, Trinidad.
And Tobago.
There we go. What did you guys think of the movie Altered States? And do you think it should be remade? And Satsu, Akira live action or no? Altered States, I don't remember.
That's William Hurt. I actually own a copy on DVD. It is one of the most, it at portions, it is like watching an acid trip. It is a very weird, artsy, sci-fi mindfuck kind of movie. I don't think anybody could effectively remake that movie. And get the same effect today, because it's just the visual effects they had to use back then make it look so bizarre that today it would just be computer special effects, and it looked like the whole inter-universe sequence in Doctor Strange, and it wouldn't have the same impact, I don't think. And I think it was William Hurt's first movie ever, and his performance is just so intense. But I think they should leave it alone.
Akira live or not?
Sure, why not?
It's gonna suck because Ghost
I'm
in the
sure
Shell.
it is, but
Ghost in the Shell. No, just leave it alone. Those movies weren't just like the story. It's like they were a moving piece of art by themselves. That kind of anime, that kind of work and artistry is just, you can't recreate that in a live medium. It just doesn't operate like that.
well, you know they're gonna try.
I know. They already are. They have been for years. That thing's been in development hell forever. So
Okay.
To quickly answer Peter, why was he naked again? Because he used to sleep naked, and when he got up to go to the toilet, he put his flip flops on and a towel around his waist, and he went flying down the ladder. The towel came off. A similar thing actually happened to me, but I wasn't drunk. I just fell down the ladder facing away from it, and ended up a snotty naked mess at the bottom of a ladder once. And my mess deck used to be opposite a weapon engineer's compartment whose door was open and had people working in there at the time. So yay.
Okay. Ebony wants to know if is it better to give or receive oral? All right, here's the thing. I like to eat pussy. I really do. But if you've ever had a blowjob, I'm gonna have to go with receive. I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's my
it depends on how good they are at their craft.
I like being rimmed while
blowjob.
jacked off.
What's that?
I like being rimmed while jacked off. It's amazing.
I don't think that's what they were asking.
I don't care. I'm just making a statement.
Oh, let's see. Satsu, do you want to weigh in there?
Weigh in where? I'm sorry. As soon as I heard rimmed, my mind just shut off.
Oral, better to give or receive?
Receive. Like, I don't know. See, every time I make a comment like this, Scribe is just like, "Oh, poor you." So never mind.
I didn't
to myself.
Holy shit! You know, I'm becoming the guy who has to say absolutely nothing because you'll just fill in the blanks for me.
Because dude, every time I've ever.
Not this time. I didn't say shit. I didn't say. I wasn't gonna say shit.
You don't know.
Oh my god!
I see Scribe has set the standard on Laws of the Night now.
You're gonna
to
give me a reverse complex.
Monkey and Satsu and are both now like super paranoid about everything.
I'm just saying, like,
I know I haven't said the opening yet. I'm gonna get to it. So Scribbles, oh shit!
Scribbles, you are very consistent, and that is to a fault, apparently.
Hey, you know, what can I say? If I'm reliable,
exactly. No, but like most of the girls that I've dealt with have like flowing rivers down there. Like I'm talking like you got to put on a snorkel for the most part, and I'm just, it's it's fine. I figured it out, but I'm just like, God damn, man.
Richard Art asks, have you seen Seven Brides for Seven Men? Do you mean Seven Brides for Seven Brothers?
Yes.
I haven't seen it since I was like a child. My parents watched it and I caught part of it.
Yeah, I saw it long time ago. It's a. Are we asking if it needs to be remade as well?
That wasn't what was asked, but maybe.
Yeah, why not? Although update it, like instead of setting it in like what mountain, whatever it was in the original, set it in like hipster New York City.
There you go.
Yeah, and then make sure that it's all equality, so it's actually the brides going after women.
Oh,
and the brothers are transgender. The women are still women. The women are still women.
They're transgender fat chicks.
Yes.
Let's see. God. Okay, chat's jumping. Sorry, guys. Do you want me to post it in the blurb again or what? You can if you want to. Did I miss a super chat there? Nope. Okay. Let's see. Is it better? Okay, that was a re-ask. Has anyone in the stream heard about the CW show Batgirl?
Yes. They're going to be doing the, I think her name's Catherine Kane version, which from the get-go was a lesbian character in the comic books. And so now they'll have their first premiere titled lesbian superhero TV show. So Supergirl will have a transgender superhero, and Batgirl will be a lesbian. And is lesbian a superpower? I suppose so, because that's really important to people for some reason.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, if they fit, it'll be the first time they've actually directly had a part of the Bat family in the CW series, which will be interesting in and of itself, depending on how they work it in. So I'm just looking forward to that aspect of it. I couldn't care less about who she decides to fall in love with. We already have lesbian characters or bisexual characters in the CW stories, so this isn't anything new except it's like the title role deal. So whatever.
Let's see. For those who have kids, what is the worst thing you've ever lied about to your kids?
Daddy still loves mummy.
Holy shit, that's dark.
I don't really. I mean, other than the standards, Tooth Fairy kind of thing, Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus. I don't lie to my children.
I lie to mine.
I never had a reason to. I mean,
Daddy will come sit with you in a minute. Daddy will come read this book to you in a minute.
Oh,
I always do that. I always would, because I mean, if I say it, I have to do it.
No.
Check your Twitter or else. It's on Twitter. You didn't put it on here. You gonna make me go work? What's wrong with you?
A wild squishy has appeared.
Squishy!
Look out! It's rabid. Look out!
Here it is. Well, you sent it to me. You didn't send it to Scribbles.
What?
Oh, forward this to Scribbles. Okay.
Controversial topics. I should time you out for that comment.
Forward what to me? What?
The blurb for tonight.
Oh, okay. Let me know when you've sent it. Oh.
I'm gonna put it in our main chat there.
Okay.
There we go. It's in our group chat.
Oh.
I forgot to. I wanted to bring this up. It's just sitting here in the background of my computer.
All right. Should I do it now or later?
I'll go ahead and do it now if you want.
What? Huh?
Sorry, I was stretching. That was like bad timing.
Tonight on Zombie City, Monkey thinks he has found his true love midget. It turns out it's just a zombie stuck in a hole to its waist. Will Satsu sabotage Monkey's go-kart? Will Scribbles set off the nuke in West Virginia? Will Bear find his way to a real country? Tune in to 2 Cents Plus to find out.
Will you, Bear? Will you find your way to a real country?
I have this plan. I have a plan, Bear.
Oh yeah, let's hear your master cunning plan.
We're gonna give California to Mexico, and then we're gonna annex the UK to be our 50th state. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with this. I absolutely 100% concur.
It's a good idea. It's one of my best.
Now, if you are giving California to Mexico, are you setting off the San Andreas fault first, or
let them deal with that shit?
Roger that.
And then they'll be the illegals and see how Mexico treats the illegals. Good luck with that. Do you think a remake of the movie Earth Girls Are Easy with the original cast? Oh my God. Or what do you think?
Wait. You wouldn't do a remake with the original cast. You do like a sequel.
You could do a remake with it and just have it nasty. Look at these old bitches. Nobody wants to fuck anymore.
Yeah, Gina Davis and who were the other girls? Or was she the only girl?
Oh God, I haven't seen that in forever. I don't even.
I'm sure Jeff Goldblum would be game to just get back into that costume. I don't know if Damon Wayans. Do you think Damon Wayans would do that today?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I assume you gentlemen have seen the statue of Jeff Goldblum in London.
Oh yes, I saw the
I have
picture of
not.
that. That's fucking hilarious.
Absolute masterpiece.
Yeah.
What time we got? Okay, we got 12 minutes, guys, and I know I've missed a lot of questions. I am so sorry. And Ryan says he posted it 3 times in chat. I'm sorry, bud. Chat is. I'm scrolling up to read questions. I'm doing my best to make you not have to put shit in again. I'm sorry. Jaster asked, mozzarella sticks? Sure.
I'm indifferent.
As my friend Satsu would say, waffles.
Waffles, bruh.
Waffles. A movie you fell asleep watching and never felt like the need to rewatch it.
Rogue One.
Good
Yeah.
one.
Legit as well.
Yeah, that's legit. Yeah, no point.
I don't know. I don't usually fall asleep during movies if I haven't seen it before. Have any of you all seen the movie The Brotherhood of the Wolf? I have not.
Yes, it's decent. I mean, it's a weird little French movie, but that's kind of
It's
cool.
French. Fuck that.
Yeah, sorry.
We would need to build the wall first. You don't have to build the wall. All we have to do is cut off their water supply. Let's see. Jack wants to know chicken and waffles or watermelon. For what?
Yeah, for breakfast.
I like both, or all three.
I'm not a big watermelon fan, so I guess chicken and waffles.
How come you know C questions is irate too big for your screen? What?
No sequel. Oh.
Oh, how come I don't see the questions? I see the questions, but I'm scrolling up to catch questions people have already asked. So the newest stuff is not in my eyesight yet.
I made a totally irrelevant statement, but I made sweet potato fries tonight. And they were actually good.
Shiograth wants to know what occupation would be the most appropriate for me to get fired from. Oh.
Literally anyone.
Psychiatrist.
Hmm.
I need to see a psychiatrist.
I don't think Shiograth should be your psychiatrist, is all I'm saying.
I just end up laughing my ass off for the full hour, right?
Maybe a diversity ambassador. I don't know. Wonder Bread or
Women's Interior Minister.
Not the way I made them.
What do all your ministers do?
They do ministerial things, and we legit do have a women's minister as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah,
They're in charge of various parts of government, like the Home Office minister decides on immigration and stuff like that. For example, the health minister decides on what happens with the NHS and so on and so forth.
Random American asks, wait, who gets the queen? I'm assuming with my plan. Here's the thing. I would bang the queen, so I'll take her. What? You wouldn't want to bang the queen?
She's brittle, dude.
So? It's the queen, and then you could be like, hell yeah, fuck the queen.
She's the brittle bit. Brittle bit. Whatever.
Are you guys allowed to fuck the queen?
Jesus.
Did you ever hear the story about the guy who broke into the palace and sat on Her Majesty's bed and then decided to sit there on the end of her bed trying to start a conversation with her?
How did he get into the palace?
I don't know. I have no idea how he got in, but he managed to get in and sit on the end of her bed and have a conversation with her. And naturally, she was pressing her panic button at the time, but she just sat there and had the conversation. So I think he was trying to get his dick wet or powdery. I don't really know how dry it is down there.
Probably powdery. You got to spit on that, which you make it. Satsu, how do you keep your French fries from drying out in the air fryer?
You gotta oil them lightly before you put them in there. You can't just put them in there and like season them and just toss them in there because they will get dry and they will taste weird. You have to put a little oil on them before you put them in there. Like, I know it says oil free, but if you don't want them to taste like delicious cardboard sticks, then you fucking put some oil on them beforehand. Just a little bit though, not a lot.
Let's see what else we got, guys. You got 8 minutes left. Bear, you weren't here for this, so what are you working on? What have you done recently on your videos?
I tried to make a video about the James Gunn thing this evening,
and
then I found out more information about it, so I scrapped the first video. So I recorded a second video, and then I found out more information and rage quit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Random American says
we're going to do a part 7 to the Doki Doki Let's Play on that Irate Alex as well soon. So.
Random American says oil it lightly is also good advice for Monkey and the Queen. You're right. You're right. Should we replace the Secretary of Defense title and bring back Secretary of War?
Yeah, that's what it used to be called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm for it. Makes it sound American.
Effectively means nothing as far as like the actual operation. It just like it's kindler, gentler if you don't say we're, our first reaction is war.
But it is.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Defense used to be called the Ministry of War.
Yeah, there's a difference between sounding like you're actively seeking conquest versus just being, protective.
That doesn't mean seeking conquest. You just might want to kick somebody's ass.
Right.
Thank you, Alice Morgan. Scribe Light, if you've seen Blood Moon, have you told Monkey about the midget strip tease where they sing just the right height for delight?
Oh my God. No, I think I had forgotten that scene somehow. I can't imagine why my brain would not register that as something to remember.
Are these male or female strippers?
Female.
Cool. I'll look that up. I don't want to see little midget men naked. I don't need to see that, and that's a problem because if you go to Pornhub, which I've never been there, guys, but if you go there and you type in midget porn, you get a lot of little guys with dicks, and I don't need to see that. That's against my Christian values.
He doesn't need to see that.
I don't. Nobody needs to see that.
Well, it's a good thing you've never seen it, huh?
Exactly.
Because you've never gone to Pornhub.
Let's see. What else do we... Oh, shit. I yawned. I thought I was over that. You notice I haven't been yawning for quite a while. Would you rather bed a dwarf or a giant? Midget, baby. I'd fuck a midget.
A giant what?
Right.
A giant woman, like, let's say a 7 foot tall bitch.
Oh, an Amazon?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be averse to it, but I'd have to find her attractive. It wouldn't have anything to do so much with her size in that regard. But if she was proportional and she was attractive looking, sure.
Yeah, but you're banging her and you're trying to kiss her and you're getting her Adam's apple.
You're trying to kiss her and you get her Adam's apple.
Yeah, because she's like a foot taller than you. Unless she's all bent up looking like a dead spider.
If you're getting her Adam's apple, then you might want to check again down there.
Oh, there's just more territory to cover.
Her. No, I wasn't saying you were kissing her crotch. I said you're doing it.
You get the Amazonian girl. You've just got more territory to please.
I don't need that in my life. I got enough.
Okay.
I'm crippled. I gotta work on something small.
Or in Scribe's instance, more territory to punish.
Hey, I'm all for mountaineering. That's all I'm saying.
When I was healthy, I was with you on that. Would you get with an alien chick? It depends on what she looked like.
Alien chick? You mean? Oh, never mind. That would be a racist if I said that.
Like Tally in Mass Effect. I'd have boned the shit out of her. And you can't even see her.
Liara Tassoni, best waifu.
Who?
Liara Tassoni.
I don't know who that is.
You just said Tally and you don't know who Liara Tassoni is.
Oh, you said her. Okay, Liara. Yeah, all you gotta do is say her first name. You don't gotta do the whole thing.
I said Liara.
She was cute. Tassoni. She was all right. But no, Tally was the shit, man. You stick your dick in that little breathing hole.
So, are you trying to kill her or fuck her?
No, because she wears that because the outside air could kill her. She's got to stay pure. So you just slide your dick in there. Admiral Thunder Bunny says, I'm with Ranting Monkey. I married a dwarf and I'm 6 feet tall. See, I don't like the word dwarf because it sounds like Tolkien, you know? I imagine a short little fat dude with a beard. I like midget because it sounds sexy.
Midget sounds sexy.
Oh, it does.
You're a strange person.
Monkey's a strange specimen, it's true.
Yeah.
Come on, you wouldn't bang a midget. Come on.
I went through a midget period when I would not jack it.
That's a tiny period.
That's a little period, yeah. It's a little period.
Dude, just wait a few days and you can have it without that.
I did go through a period of non-stop jacking it to midget porn, but then I stopped.
Non-stop?
You desensitized yourself.
Just like, this isn't doing it for me anymore. I want to see some traps.
Oh, God. My wife has a form of dwarfism, therefore dwarf. No, I understand. I do. I get that that's the actual name for it. And but for me, I prefer the term midget. And I know midgets are like, I don't like that term. I don't give a fuck. We're talking about me right now. Today we have to go to the circus to see normal people. You're not wrong there. You're not wrong there, Faye. I think we're getting on short jokes. I actually like short people and well, short women. Short guys piss me off. I want to punch them in the face. I don't. I need to go to therapy for this, but little guys make me want to hit them. And I think it comes from school because the little guys were always the ones that would step up for some reason, and then I'd have to beat them down. It's not my fault.
Lower than they were?
Well, when somebody punches you, you have to punch them back. Otherwise, they're just going to keep doing it.
Well, you could headbutt them.
Well, you're British. I'm American. We punch.
I was always weary of little people because they beat a lot of wholesale ass in my school. It was always the short chicks or the short dudes who like beat the shit out of somebody. I'm just like, don't piss
short dudes would always come up and want to fight, and they'd hit me, and I'd have to hit them back because that's what I do.
Yeah. Well,
have you not watched porn with Lady Monkey? Of course, I've watched porn with Lady Monkey. There's one time I asked her if she wanted to have sex, and she said no. So I put she was cleaning our bedroom actually, and I was laying on the bed. I was laying on the bed being lazy as fuck. I'm like, you want to do it? She's like, no. So I put porn on and we did it.
You
Took
read
about 5 minutes and she's like, all right, we can do it.
You read Random American's message wrong.
What'd that do?
He said,
He misread it.
I think
All right.
we're getting short on jokes.
Oh, you know what, Random? It's okay because we're done anyway. Chat, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for the super chats. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. And thank you guys for just showing up every night. Best audience on YouTube on the planet. And I will bite any motherfucker that says differently. Scribe, Satsu, a pleasure as always. Bear, dude, thank you for showing up, man. We haven't streamed together in forever. Well, we're gonna have to do it again soon. Just you and me one morning when nobody else is awake, and they're like, "Why the fuck are you doing this?" But
we do that the other day. He was on my stream.
Yeah, but me and him used to stream like in the mornings all the time.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay.
Yeah. Not that I don't love you guys. Anyway, everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Fuck off.
Jesus Christ. You're the meanest, Mr. French.
I said fuck off.
There is no secret word. I'm just seeing how long you'll stay here.
Oh my God, you guys are sadists. You think I'm a BDSM freak?
Monkey, you're preventing them from fucking off.
I don't want them to fuck off. Hello, people. You're still here. Have you hit that like button? Have you shared? What I want you guys to do right now is share this stream right this second.
Yes. Share the stream that's about to end.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next time.